Charles Moses, why don't you kick us off with a little roustabout? And everybody else needs to put their mics on mute, please.
Been a very long time since I played with Maria Fairchild. It's
Oops.
fun to say your name.
I think I muted the actual feed.
All right, let's play.
Chuck.
Okay. Okay, try this too. Oh, roust about, where have you been so long? Well, I've been in the pen with $40 man. Honey, I'm going back again. Hop high, hop high, my little gal. Hop high, hop high, hop high, my little gal. Tell me, where did you get those high top shoes? That dress that you wear so fine? Well, I got my shoes from a railroad man, my dress from a driver in a mine. Hop high, hop high, hop high, my little gal. Hop high, hop high, hop high, my little gal. Well, who's gonna shoe those pretty little feet? And who's gonna glove your hand? And who's gonna kiss those red ruby lips when I'm in a faraway land? Hop high, hop high, my little gal. Hop high, hop high, hop high, my little gal. Well, I'm gonna shoe my own 2 feet, and I can surely glove my own hand. And that $40 man's gonna kiss my lips when you're in a faraway land. Hop high, hop high, hop high, my little gal. Hop high, hop high, hop high, my little gal.
Nice work.
That's a cool song, Maria. I always enjoyed that one.
Thanks. I like playing it with you.
Kind of came back to me. It's been a couple of years since we did it.
Well, yeah, probably 5 or so.
That long, really? Anyway, I'm
I bet.
very lucky to know you and to play along with you. And hopefully we actually have some, like, I don't know, gigs someday. You know?
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
I would really like that.
We could recruit Eastbound Freight to play with us. That'd be fun.
I hear they've got some open dates available.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyway, we're going to introduce the Eastbound Freight gentlemen. They've been playing together for, I don't know, 7,500 years. And close friends of mine, and I'm so lucky to play with them. I play fiddle with them. And then we're going to move it over to Phil Merkel, who is a DJ on WUSB, and he has been the we're so lucky to have him as the announcer for the Bluegrass Festival for the past couple of years. Um, so he's up on the stage, and Phil is very tall, so the stage looks a little smaller, which is cool. So Phil, you could turn your microphone on, and you could, you know, for a brief second or two, ask Eastbound Freight some questions, then move on to the first song.
Well, thank you for those kind words, and it was an honor. And I've been involved with WUSB since 2005, and I've had my own show since 2015. And the great thing about WUSB is it's a melting pot of music, and you get to hear all sorts of music all the time, including some great bluegrass shows like Buddy Miriam on Wednesdays, and of course our friend Trevor on Monday nights. But I had the pleasure of having Eastbound Freight on my show. My show is actually a progressive rock show, Captain Phil's Planet. So what better band to come in than a bluegrass band? And I was just so amazed and impressed, and that the band was so tight and so just sounded so great live in the studio that day. I believe it was to promote the 2019 Bluegrass Festival. I think you guys came in for that. Am I right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So Eastbound Freight, and Bill, you can just shut me down when it's time to start the music. Eastbound Freight, what's it been like during this time of pandemic? Have you guys been able to play together at all? How has that impacted you?
Well, we've done some social distancing practicing in various backyards, and playing 6-7 feet apart from each other. That's a different experience. We played out in Halleckville this summer to an audience of cars, kind of like we were the movie at a drive-in. And,
it could be worse, I guess, right?
I think the activity in the cars is probably different than a drive-in.
It was a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Family.
Clean and decent.
Yeah.
And
yes,
I can't imagine that sort of action going down at a bluegrass concert, but you never know. I mean, they say love is love,
Yeah. Expunge that thought.
Yes. How was it at the Halleckville show? I heard about that, and either Kerry Carney played or Buddy Miriam played. I don't remember.
Maybe both at different times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what was it like being there? I mean, at one point, you're so happy to be together because it's been so long, and at the other point, you're like, am I going to get infected? So what was that like, just being there? Was it like a surreal experience?
Borderline. We're so used to playing with each other that we can adjust to almost any situation. But it was a little strange. We loved playing, and people seemed to like it. People came out of their cars way in the back row, so we were looking out of a big open barn door opening, and there was a few cars in front of us, but behind us were just open fields and a tree line, and behind that was a Long Island Sound.
Right.
So the people in the back row got out of their cars, and some danced. We like it when people dance. We feel like we're doing something right.
Yeah.
Well, outdoor events tend to be the safest thing, and as long as you're not on top of each other. And I don't believe there's been a history of mosh pits at bluegrass festivals, so I think you would have to worry about that.
I've seen a few.
Yeah.
At Jimmy Martin concerts, I've seen a few.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the more banjos, the more danger of the mosh pit, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
it.
direct
Antagonist.
relationship.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We
are you guys working on any new music right now? Anything new coming down the pike?
No, and actually, speaking of new music, the guy who wrote all the original music in the band, Bill DeTurk, for 28 years, just retired from playing out, and so that's a big loss,
Yes.
a big change.
For us, it's pretty hard. I think, especially on you guys who've been together for so long, and you didn't even give him a gold watch and chain. I don't think.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're figuring out
getting-
what we're going to give them.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have you guys over for for a smoke out or something. We'll have a.
Yeah, that'd be
Sounds
great.
like fun. Yeah.
Something like
We were going to hail the gold watch.
Full plated.
It seems
All
so.
right, so let's get back to let's start playing some music.
Okay.
I think what's our first song here? We have
Whiskey Before Breakfast.
Whiskey Before Breakfast, right? And then No Longer a Sweetheart of Mine, which I think Dave, you have that one on, right?
What's that?
You sing lead on that one?
John
No, I
sings
sing lead. I sing lead.
I sing on a tenor part, so it's a duet all the way through.
It's an old Reno and Smiley.
All right, so Viper Studios, kick us off, please. Ready? 2, 3.
We are saying goodbye, dear, forever. I'm leaving you close love behind. Every promise you made had been broken. You're no longer a sweetheart of mine. Go back to the bar down the street, dear, and stay with your honky-tonk kind. Go back to the life you've been living. You're no longer a sweetheart of mine. From a bottle to a walk in the moonlight.
All right, awesome. So, Phil, do you have any questions for us at all?
Yeah. First of all, Whiskey Before Breakfast and No Longer a Sweetheart of Mine sounds. The music was so upbeat and chipper and happy, but they were really dark subjects. So you're drinking whiskey before breakfast, so that belays a state of mind, and then you're having this happy twiddly song about saying you're no longer a sweetheart of mine. So how does a woman feel if you're singing that to her as you're handing her bags and sending her out the door? Yeah, it seems
Relieved.
a
God,
little
yeah.
a little rough around the edges.
Lucky.
That's the conundrum of bluegrass,
Right.
Steve.
Yeah, there's a lot of happy songs, but the topic's not so happy.
Right. Yeah.
I guess it sort of smooths over the hurt feelings. Like on one hand, like you're drunk because you've had whiskey in your Cheerios, you know? and then of course you're sending your sweetheart away, but you're doing it like with that such a fun little violin and mandolin ditties in there. It's like she could just be skipping down the block. Seems a weird juxtaposition. But great stuff. I'm watching you guys, and it's so great. I want to remind everybody who's on the stream and who watches the stream and watches the video later on that there is a donate button in the chat room and on the website channel. Make use of that because of COVID-19. A lot of these guys, they're not touring, and they usually are doing merch at shows, and they're keeping going this way. In some instances, some of these artists only have a stream of income through their playing out, and when COVID hit, it really hit them, took them for a loop. So if you're able to check out these guys, get their merch, look them up online, and donate to the Babylon Arts Council as well to keep this sort of thing going. And a quick shout out, I want to shout out to George, Josie, Christine, Jim, and Veronica in the chat room right now, who are listening in. Bruce, do you feel jealous of the other band members because you have to carry that bass around everywhere you go?
No.
He always has something to lean on. That's the nice part.
Yeah.
Right.
He's always leaning on something. He's always borrowing something to lean on. So we would like, maybe you should just play the bass, Bruce. And then,
Have you guys ever toured and used like gone on a plane or something? Have you had to drag that bass with you?
No. Even traveling with guitars and banjos is tough these days.
Yeah.
Bass, either I'd have to get one that I could take apart. There are fold-up basses now, or you have to kind of make arrangements to have a bass ready for you wherever you're traveling to. Tough.
Interesting. Did you ever go to a gig where they arranged a bass for you and it was not the bass you were looking for? I mean, were there issues?
Yeah. It was. I played with Buddy Merriam at the Grand Ole Opry in the mid '80s, and they had a bass from a really good bass player, well-known player down there. And I'd been only ever played for the most part steel strings, or I'd been playing steel strings at that point probably only for about 4 years. It'd been quite a while since I'd played on gut strings, and the bass they lent me had gut strings on it, and it's like going from Volkswagen to dump truck, or from dump truck to Volkswagen. It's just such a different feel, and it was
gut strings. They can really hurt. It's like playing sandpaper.
I found the timing to be the hard part because it's just such different tension.
Yeah.
I was having small heart attacks warming up.
Jeez.
But
Everything backs at 110 beats per second, right?
At least. I wish I could get that high now.
So let's go back to Viper Studios. We're going to play a couple more songs, and I think our let's see, our next songs. Well, let's quickly, briefly, so in case some people have to go. We have our next event is Wednesday, October 7th, with Don Sternberg, who's working on some. He's actually an amazing swing jazz player. Amazing, right? And He also does bluegrass, and he's gonna do a little bluegrass workshop. If you don't play the mandolin, I highly recommend going to this workshop. If you play the mandolin, I really, really highly recommend you go to this workshop. He is, first of all, the most entertaining man I've ever seen by himself. He is an amazing performer, an amazing speaker. Our last workshop was Jim Hurst. That one is available on the Babylon Arts Council, Babylon Citizens Council of the Arts website and the YouTube channel. And you could listen to the last workshop and donate, hopefully. And then Don Sternberg, like I said, you could see him live through a Zoom meeting on Wednesday. So, what, Susan, what's the email that they want to email you to, or to Liz?
Unmute. There we go. Now I'm unmuted. It's BACCA events. So it's BACCA events at gmail.com.
You seem very sure. So BACCAevents@gmail.com is the
Yes.
is the email, and you can go to libluegrassfestival.org to contact Susan or Liz, and they will send you back the Zoom link. And so next up for Eastbound Freight is "Crying My Heart Out of You" and Kentucky Mandolin, which is a fun one to play. So let's kick that out. Happy one, "Crying My Heart Out."
That's right.
Oh, I love that.
Off somewhere the music's playing soft and low, and a stranger holds the one that I love so. I was blind, could not see that you meant the world to me, and like a fool I stood and watched you go. And now I'm crying my heart out over you. Those blue eyes now, they smile at someone new. Ever since you went away, I die a little more each day, while I'm crying my heart out over you. And at night I climb the stairs up to my room. Seems I hear you whisper in the gloom. I miss your picture on the wall and your footsteps in the hall, while I'm crying my heart out over you. And now I'm crying my heart out over you. Those blue eyes now, they smile at someone new. Ever since you went away, I die a little more each day, while I'm crying my heart out over you. And now I'm crying my heart out over you. Those blue eyes now, they smile at someone new. And ever since you went away, I die a little more each day, while I'm crying my heart out over you.
All right, are we back?
We're back.
So that was "Crying My Heart Out Over You" and Kentucky Mandolin, Eastbound Freight, and Kentucky Mandolin. For a moment there, I thought I was hearing the bluegrass version of "Roundabout" by Yes. Is there any cross-pollination there? Was John Anderson a bluegrass fan? Did he? Do you get that vibe, or am I in Fantasyland here?
Well, you are in Fantasyland, but that's. I think you're on a track. You know, like I'm having all of a sudden a mental block. Yes was a fan of American music, so it's quite possible that why am I having the guitar player for Yes? Why can't I?
Steve Howe.
Steve Howe probably was influenced a lot by American guitarists, of that era. So it's quite possible. Yeah.
And Bill, on that note, we had a conversation once about the relationship between blues and bluegrass, and I've been engineering Mario and Danny's More Cowbell show on Monday mornings from 9 to 11 on WUSB because Danny and Mario both can't come into the studio. We can't have more because of COVID. We can't have more than one person in. And Mario's in his 70s, and Danny could be immune compromised. So it's not safe for them. So the way we do it is I engineer it from up here by Albany, where I live now, and they come in via Zoom. I'm connected to the station, and I remote broadcast and bring them in. And of course, I've been listening to their show now for 2 months doing this, and every blues song is "She done me wrong, she did that wrong, she took everything, everything is wrong, and everything, if there was no bad luck, I had no luck at all," sort of thing, thematically. Can you talk to the relationship between blues and bluegrass a little bit, Bill?
I certainly can. I probably Bruce and Dave can speak longer.
Yeah, whoever wants to jump in on this.
My brief statement on that would be, the era of the time that they were singing those songs, the country music, especially from 20s, 30s, and 40s, is where bluegrass stems from. So that's the thematic thing that was going on during that time after the Great Depression, and especially down south, they were just surviving in some cases. So that I think is what spoke to the common man, and that's the songs that probably stuck at that era. I mean, what do you guys think?
Oh, that's absolutely true. If anybody saw the Ken Burns special on country music, in particular the bluegrass segment, they made it very clear that the earliest bluegrass musicians, the legends, were influenced by blues players, and in particular Bill Monroe. What was the harmonica player's name that?
DeFord Bailey.
DeFord Bailey was on the Grand Ole Opry.
Right.
Yeah, and there was a guy around where he grew up named Arnold Schultz.
That's right.
A
That's
black guy who was a blues player. And as a kid, Bill heard a lot of that music and played a lot of that music. And he wrote Kentucky Mandolin, that tune we just heard.
Oh, really? He wrote DeFord Bailey?
Yeah. Bill Monroe wrote it.
Oh, Bill Monroe wrote it, but I'm saying, yeah. Right.
But if you study Bill Monroe's playing, some of the breaks he plays, all downstrokes, very powerful. That's all blues. It's a blues scale.
Right.
He puts a lot of blues in his music.
Blues and rhythm and blues.
Rhythm and blues. Yep.
Well, that's what people heard. That was like the music that was going on during that time. So it was just like any musician and any composer, they steal ideas from what's going on in the era.
Right.
Whether it be their neighborhood or what they're hearing, they're going to steal it and they're going to make it their own. Which I think Bill Monroe did a great job making, the music his own. Like we're still playing it today, so it's kind of interesting. I've heard people say that classical music and bluegrass music are similar because bluegrass music has a set of rules, and they steal folk music. And that's what bluegrass does. And the same thing with classical music. There's composers that have stolen folk music and made it classical.
Aaron Copland.
Schubert had folk.
So it's kind of interesting that they do that. Let's play some more music. I think what are we on? Rocky Road Blues and the Sunset Trail. So we had Rocky Road Blues.
Yeah, there's some blues for you, Phil.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's you know, it's not just Rocky Blues, it's Rocky Road Blues. And the Sunset Trail, which always reminds me of the what's that movie? I don't know. It just has
Bill Monroe, King of the West.
King of the, it doesn't remind me of that, but I never saw that one. Is that actually a movie?
It's
Yeah, starred
it's in my
John
head.
Wayne.
Thelma and Louise.
Dig me out of this one. Anyway, let's kick off for the next two, song 5 and 6. We have Rocky Road Blues and the Sunset Trail.
And avail yourselves of the donation button, folks.
Right. Making me sweat. Well, roll it, rock, but it won't be rocky long. Hey, the road is rocky, but it won't be rocky long. Another man, got my woman and gone. Well, I got them blues, well, now they sold my shoes. Hey, I got them blues, well, now they sold my shoes. Gal went away and left me lost. She left with the doggone blues. Play blues, John. Well, let miss your water till your well run dry. Oh, you won't miss your water till your well run dry. Won't miss your woman till she said goodbye. Well, the road is rocky, but it won't be rocky long. Yeah, the road is rocky, but it won't be rocky long. Another man and my woman is gone. Play blues, Bill. Play it again. Come on, Bruce. Well, the road is rocky, but it won't be rocky long. Hey, the road is rocky, but it won't be rocky long. Another man and my woman is gone. All right. Down the Sunset Trail, I'm bound to go. Cross the plains and the desert where the wild winds wail. Someone waits for me on the Sunset Trail. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo. Down the Sunset Trail, I'm bound to go.
right. That was the Rocky Road Blues and Bill on the Sunset Trail. You back with me there, Bill?
Yep, I'm back.
And Bill, tell us about the Bluegrass Club of Long Island.
First, I'd like to say that song, and it's going to be completely inappropriate for me to say, that song, every time I kick that song off, I think of the movie Die Hard. Okay, but I'm not going to say anything more than that because you have to go discover that on your own. Anyway.
Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay.
Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay, yeah. Anyway, the Bluegrass Club of Long Island has a jam on the first Sunday of each month. So tomorrow is the next jam. I believe that's October 4th, and we jam from about 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock ish, sometimes 7, at the Smithtown Historical Society Brush Barn, which is behind the old tavern from the 1600s. It's a rather interesting property, and they have been donating their property the first Sunday of the month for almost 20 years. So it's been, very lucky for us to come and hang out there. So yeah, we are at the Long Island Bluegrass Festival right now. For 2020, the bizarre virtual festival. We can't actually hang out and smell the the vendors and the food trucks, unfortunately.
Low tide.
What's that, Dave?
Low tide, Great South Bay.
That's right. That's right. Low tide, Great South Bay is a great smell.
Can't smell the salt air. I miss the salt air.
I know. Liz, you only had one of them, right?
Yeah, I only have one Bluegrass Festival under my belt at Tanner Park.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is your second bizarre festival. The first one was a little bizarre, but it was for different reasons, right? Like, this is what we're doing. So, Liz, I talked about the Long Island Bluegrass Festival and the club. What do you want to say? Anything about exciting news from BACCA? Anything coming up besides the Bluegrass Festival for the next 4 weeks?
We have, if you aren't familiar with BACCA, BACCA is a nonprofit arts council serving the town of Babylon, and we have all kinds of events like this event, for example, but also we have art classes and, art shows and all kinds of other opportunities for artists, musicians. We have theater. And one of the things we're able to do now is we're having outdoor painting classes sponsored by the Town of Babylon Local Development Corporation. And we have 2 more classes available. So if you're interested, it's for all levels. If you're not familiar with plein air painting, it's just outdoor painting, landscape painting. They're guided. So there's information on our website for that. But otherwise, really grateful we are able to have this festival in this format. And we're thankful to Suffolk County for their flexibility during this crazy year that we're still able to get together and do this. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, you go to Babylon Arts. I'm sorry, it's what's
www.babylonarts.org.
Gotcha. And then we have the LIBluegrassfestival.org, and that'll help you get to the workshops and the next concerts. We usually post the YouTube link the day before for the concerts, so you can go and click. And so it's LIBluegrassfestival.com. So the next up we have Dusty Miller and Travelin' Blues, and let's have a little bit of John Brazotti. We lost you completely. You're gone. Oh, there he is. He's floating around. Get out of the woods, John. And let's talk a little bit about little Dusty Miller for us. I know I kicked that one off, but do you have any history of that one or Travelin' Blues?
Dusty Miller? I'm not sure. I think I kind of learned that the same time you did.
Yeah, I just kind of heard that one, and I was like, that works for me.
Yeah, when I heard Mike Compton play that, it just really kind of split the atom for me. It was amazing. And that's one tune. There's so many different ways that's played by different people, but And I've heard many versions of it, but I just went back and learned Bill Monroe's, the version he played most of the time, although he changed it a lot. And it's just a really powerful number.
Yeah, it is a powerful number. It's fun. Dave, what is a Dusty Millard? What do you think it is?
A Dusty Miller, I would say it's actually a miller. And I would probably in a grain mill. And I would bet that he was covered with maybe corn flour or something. But it could have been, of course, in my line of work, a lumber mill, because either one's a dusty place. But my guess it's somebody who worked in a flour mill.
You're a dusty guy. You're a dusty guy.
Yeah, Dusty Miller, sure.
All right, let's get back to some music. Let's get Viper Studios back with a little Dusty Miller and Travelin' Blues.
Traveling blues. I had a dream last night. Thought my good gal had gone. Woke up this morning. She had really done me wrong. Well, I know it's not fair. What my good gal had done caught her. My gal's been traveling around just about a week, I know. Several of my friends just told me so and so. Well, she's found a new man, and now I can understand. And I'm going away, I'm leaving today, gonna bring my baby back. It had 8-wheel driver, don't jump the railroad track. I'll take her from that man, I'm gonna bring her home if I can. I'm that man. I'm gonna bring her home if I can. Oh, lady, whoa, if I can.
Well, that was awesome, and that was just great. That was Traveling Blues. Prior to that was Dusty Miller. I had been thinking, Bill and Eastbound Freight, what is the one instrument that generates the most interest at a bluegrass concert? And I was going through my mind, well, it's got to be either the mandolin or the banjo. You know, like what instrument is the quote unquote chick magnet? And after that song, I realized it's not an instrument; it's the yodeling.
That doesn't work for me.
Dave, oh my God.
True. Not true.
It's so true, Dave, the yodeler.
Really? Oh, well, I'll stop doing it
It is
then.
a rare talent.
No more.
I don't actually listen to the words to that song. They are just torturous. It's the saddest song. It's not a happy song. And what I found was funny was I just recently got married, and Dave got to sing it at my wedding. So,
just happy to sing you a miserable song at your wedding.
I so appreciate Traveling Blues. It's the song with this is a little bit of trivia. In my mind, when I play with Eastbound Freight,
yes,
the song we do can be followed by that song. Mm-hmm. So any song we do, I had a dream last night. If Dave went into it, I'd be completely happy.
Really?
It would be perfect.
It would be perfect. Every other song can be that song, and I'd be fine with it.
That song never disappoints.
It never does. I don't know.
Okay.
So, Dave, thank you so much for learning that one.
Well, thanks for saying what you did. And stay put. Don't travel. Stay put now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had people appreciated some people. One person came in and said a Dusty Miller is a plant actually.
Yeah,
Bruce has one here on the patio.
There's one about
right.
It's that strange white dusty plant that is apparently it's called a Dusty Miller. I don't know if that fiddle tune is anything to do with a Dusty Miller, the plant, but maybe it does. I don't know.
You know, I introduce that sometimes as there's a trout fly. I'm a trout fisherman. And there's a trout fly called a Dusty Miller. And I asked one time, we were playing at a library out in Shoreham. There were any trout fishermen in the audience? And there was a guy from Trout Unlimited, right? And he'd heard of the Dusty Miller. So it gets around. That title gets around.
So I could use it for a lot of things, apparently.
So the more obscure the reference in the bluegrass song, the greater the song.
Absolutely.
I think it has to do when you're doing fiddle tunes. 99% of the time, who knows? You know,
the art of the title.
This means very different things to very different people. Yes, and that's a good thing.
I mean, you could go back to the first tune we did, which was it's actually going to be the last tune we did too. I'm going to refresh it. Let me just say, if you're watching this and you can't stay for another 20 minutes or so, at the very end. At Sylvester Manor, which is the place that we recorded this, which is a fantastic property on Shelter Island. Tom Hashhagen and Lisa Shaw for the last band, which is on YouTube at Babylon Citizens Council of the Arts. If you haven't got a chance to watch that video, that's the place we're doing it, and that's the place we're recording this. But at the end, we're doing a drone video by Viper Studios, and he brought his drone out there, which sounds like a flying lawnmower. So nothing really got to, we didn't get to record to it necessarily, but there's some beautiful footage of the property, and I highly recommend watching that. And when this is all over, we're going to present the videos without us talking over the top of it. We're going to have both of them up there. We'll have the Zoom video, and we'll have the actual video, the video footage. And that was a lot of fun putting together was the drone footage. I believe next up we have another happy one. This one is I Cried Again. And who's that by?
Laughing.
Dave, who's I Cried Again by?
That's an old country tune. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I've forgotten the name of the guy who wrote that tune.
Yeah, yeah,
Flatt and Scruggs brought that into the bluegrass world, though.
yeah. Jimmy Martin did a slow version of it. And the first place I heard it was when I was the first week in college. I went into the bookstore and I went to the bargain bin, and I got 2 records. One was an old Starday sampler, and the other one was the best of the Greenbrier Boys.
Wow.
And that's the first time I heard that tune.
And so
I think
those of us.
it might be Hank Williams.
Ah, okay.
Hank Williams.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Those of us that are under 92, what is a record, John? Oh, just kidding.
Thank you. Surrounded by cardboard and frayed around the edges.
I kid. Okay, so let's kick off a little I Cried Again, and then we go into Paradise, which is a John Prine song, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
So, any John Prine fans out there, you have to wait just a little bit, and you'll hear that song. So, Chuck Moses from Viper Studios, can you kick that off for us, please?
Now teardrops fell the night you said I love you, dear, but you away. I cried when I held your hand, then I bowed my head and cried again. I cried again when I reached home. They said your picture all alone, and then before I reached the end, well, I bowed my head and cried again. And I took your letters from the shelf and read them aloud, dear, to myself. And then before I reached the end, well, I bowed my head and cried again. I cried again when I reached home. They said your picture all alone. And then before I reached the end, well, I bowed my head and cried again. Now here's the reason that I said that I must throw your things away. You know they would only cause me pain, and I would have to cry again. I cried again when I reached home. They said your picture all alone, and then before I reached the end, well, I bowed my head and cried again. When I was a child, my family would travel back to western Kentucky, where my parents were born. There's a backwards old town so often remembered. So many times my memories are worn. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train sometimes we'd float right down the Green River to the abandoned old prison down by Avery Hill, where the air smelled like snakes when we'd shoot with our pistols, but empty pop bottles was all we would kill. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled it away. Then the coal company came with the world's largest shovel. They tortured the timber and tore up the land, and they dug for their coal till the land was forsaken, and they wrote it all down as a progress of man. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. When I die, let my ashes float down the Green River. Let my soul roll on up to the Rochester Dam. I'll be halfway to heaven with paradise waiting, just 5 miles away from wherever I am. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away.
That is Eastbound Freight here at the Long Island Virtual Bluegrass Festival, which is virtually magnificent. Some quick shout outs, Nick and Todd and Bill and Moon Shadow on the chat in the YouTube channel, and some upcoming shows. So the entire month of October is having Bluegrass Wonderment on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So coming up on October 10th is Josie Bello and the Kid House Band. Then the following week, on October 17th, our good friends Pluck and Rail, and they're going to be on, yes, the 17th. And I just, those guys are crazy. I just can't, yeah. We have stories. Bill and I have stories about Pluck and Rail.
We'll keep
yeah, we don't have enough time. And then WUSB's own Buddy Miriam and Backroads on October 24th. And of course, Buddy is still on WUSB. He is doing live remotes. Hopefully his internet has been sorted out, but he's been trying to do live remotes from his home. And he's going to be on October 24th. And then on Halloween, the Falco Brothers, that would be October 31st. And that's going to be a all treat and no tricks show. So you'll have to tune in for that for Halloween in between eating your Kit Kat bars. And then on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock are the workshops coming up. Don Sternberg, Bluegrass Mandolin, That will be on the 7th. On the 14th, Andy Falco, flat picking guitar. On the 21st, Joe Newberry, old time banjo workshop. And on the 28th, another one with Joe Newberry, songs and guitar workshop. All this stuff is happening via the Babylon Arts Council. If you go to their website, that's where the donate button is. There were some people on the chat who were looking for the donate button. So go to BACCA.org, I believe is the website, or just search for Babylon Arts Council and you'll be able to make a donation there. And again, this entire lineup, these artists who are out there streaming in, find their website, find their band camp, if they have a band camp. And if you have the ability to get their merch, it really, really makes a difference. A lot of bands that I have on my show on Thursday afternoons, their only stream of income to help the band out is the band camp and their CD and t-shirt sales. So just putting that plea out there for you. Anything else, Bill?
We just lost Sean. I was going to have him talk about Josie Bello and the Kid House Band, but I got to record them recently at the BACCA Arts Center, and Josie Bello is a great songwriter, and luckily Sean turned me on to them, and I fell in love with her vocals and her songs. And our next concert is Josie Bello and the Kid House Band, and that's live-ish, I guess, at the BACCA Arts Center in Lindenhurst, New York. If you don't know where this is, it's a very nondescript storefront next door to an amazing German restaurant and a bakery. And if you hear of concerts there, whether they be my concerts, Bluegrass concerts, or anything that they put on, or festivals, or whatever they have. I know they have art exhibits sometimes. Sometimes they have having a mental block. They use it for performances. Help me on this.
Theater.
Theater. Thank you.
So I'd like to say, not nondescript, but I don't know, from the outside, it looks small from the outside, but you get inside and it's a really nice theater space.
A great theater, yeah. It's a perfect size.
It's fun to play.
I've been to a lot of concerts. I've been to really, really large concerts, and I feel that the intimacy you get at BACCA is probably nowhere else. I've played in 2 different bands, and with Eastbound Freight, I always find that we have a great concert there, a great audience, and it's just an intimate vibe. And so we got to record 2 concerts there. We got to record Buddy Miriam and Backroads and Josie Bello and the Kid House Band, which Sean is a member of. And if Sean wouldn't mind just briefly talking about Josie, and then we'll finish up our talking at you guys and play some more songs for you.
Josie is an amazing singer-songwriter. She's getting a lot of recognition and play in a lot of different sources. She just had some WFUV airplay and recognition, so she's really something special. So we hope you'll enjoy the show next week. Just to point out something, Bill, that you were talking about, one of the features we did this year, which I think has been really successful, is we tried to do a little bit of recording around Long Island. You had Eastbound Freight and Tom and Lisa out in Shelter Island. You're going to have Buddy Miriam and Josie Bello in Lindenhurst at the Arts Center. You've got the Falco brothers, and you guys with Maria were out at the Sable Suffolk County Marine Museum. And
it's actually the Sayville Maritime Museum.
Right. And Pluck and Rail is out in Setauket. So I think it's really great that we've gotten around Long Island, see some of the different aspects of Long Island. So it's been a special part of this year's Bluegrass Festival. So thank you again for all you guys are doing.
And so we're going to wrap up our talking, and we're going to end up with Eastbound Freight doing 2 more songs. One of which we recorded the audio for the Old Hometown, and then we just sort of like fade back into Whiskey Before Breakfast because I ran out of music to present. But there was some cool video in there, and we got to play down by this cool tree. I don't know what kind of tree it was. Probably Dave. What was it?
Popper Beech. Popper Beech. BEECH. Popper Beech. The one that has the purple leaves on it.
It was a beautiful tree. It was huge.
Massive.
And again, if you haven't been to Shelter Island and to the Sylvester Manor, what a treat. What a beautiful place. I highly recommend going there. and you know, walking around that property. I know they have some great events out there, and Tom Hashhagen was one of the first bands. He hosts bands out there when it's not COVID, and he's had so many amazing bluegrass and folk bands out there. So we're lucky to have that as a resource too. So again, I'd like to thank the Babylon Citizens Council of the Arts for making this possible, along with all our sponsors and Eastbound Freight, and you know, Liz and Susan and Donna. So I'm sure she's somewhere out there, and Maria Fairchild. So thank you so much for opening, and you have a couple more songs. You're not out of the woods yet, Maria.
I'll be back.
Sean, and then Chuck Moses from Viper Studios, and of course Phil Merkel. I hope you join us for more of these. Phil, you're invited to all of them. Please come and hang out with us. And
you know, if you need me, and I'd be happy to, if you know, if I can make it work. And tune me in this Thursday, 3 to 5 p.m. Check it out.
Listen, Phil, if there is a socially distant Comic-Con on one of the Saturdays, I give you permission to go to the Comic-Con and not hang out with us. Okay.
I could tell you stories about socially distant. They've been going on nonstop since COVID hit. Actually, it's kind of hilarious. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's get to the music.
Okay, so we're gonna end up with this: The Old Hometown and Whiskey Before Breakfast. I think it's all drone footage at this point. So yes, Phil, peace, love, and prosperity. All right, thank you all.
This is the new handshake.
Thank you. Great job, everybody.
Maria, thanks.
And Eastbound Freight, you guys rock, and thank you so much for letting me play with you for all these years. I'm not. Listen, I'm not resigning. Don't worry.
Okay. Eastbound Freight, you guys sounded great. I haven't heard you in so long. It was a real treat.
I didn't hear us for so long either. It was a little strange. All right. Thank you, the Babylon Citizens Council of the Arts. Here we go with The Old Hometown. Kick us off, Chuck Moses from Viper Studios.
See.
Tonight my heart is lonely for the folks back home, where I left my mother and daddy all alone. There's been a lot of changes there since I've been around. I'd like to wander back to the old hometown. You'll never miss the home folks until you've gone away, and you'll need a friend to help you every day. And then you call on mother, she won't be around. I'd like to wander back to the old hometown. I've searched this whole world over since I've been around. I've never found a place just like the old hometown. If I could live life over, I'd never roam around. I'd like to wander back to the old hometown. You'll never miss the home folks until you've gone away. Then you'll need a friend to help you every day. And then you'll call on mother, but she won't be around.
And that's it, people.